Okay, check. All right, so just doing a quick stream, a quick video going over the new Unearthed Arcana. It's actually not too new. I think it came out a couple of weeks ago, and I completely missed out on it. So trying to play a little bit of catch up on that. So this is new class variants that are optional, as I think they replace as well as add additional features. So I will have a link in the description where you can get these class features, or the PDF for this. It's always free. This is all test feature, so something to check out. Anyways, let's take a look at it. So like I said, it is Unearthed Arcana. Class features came out on the 4th of November, I believe. So, and it does feature for all the classes. Let's take a look at the table real fast before we dive into it. So like I say, it does feature all the classes from what I understand. Now, I haven't gone through this. I haven't prepared any notes, nothing like that. So like I say, this is just me kind of reading through, running off, and we'll be flipping back and forth between the player's handbook here, just to compare what the base class features were. So let's see. We're going to be starting with Barbarian, obviously. So this is just a quick table that just shows what is changed. So it's not very long. I think it's only like about 5 or 6 pages. So let's get started. We're going to start from the top, do it alphabetically. So Barbarian has the, let's take a look at survival instincts. And we'll highlight as we go along if I need to. So right away it says it replaces danger senses. And I can't recall off the bat what that is about. So let's flip over right now and let's take a look. So Barbarian. So it's going to be in class features a little bit lower. No. Danger sense, yeah, level 2. So pretty early stuff. At second level, you gain an uncanny sense. Sorry, I can't talk right now. Of when things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you dodge away from danger. You have an advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects you can see. Okay, such as traps. You can gain the benefit. You can go online. That's a really good one to have. Like, that's obviously pretty awesome. Such as traps, spells to gain this benefit. Yeah. So as long as you can see it, you're going to have an advantage on your dexterity saving throw. So that's obviously a pretty good baseline feature to have. So now, how is this? So this actually replaces it. So it's up to you. I think it was kind of suggesting that you as the DM can, but you know, this is something that your player would obviously bring up to your attention as well and say they want to do it. So I mean, it's official rules. Replace danger sense. Why not? You become proficient in your choice of 2 of the following skills. Okay, so it replaces that with just giving you a couple of skills proficiencies. Your friend is doubled for any ability. Your proficient bonus doubled for any ability check you make that uses each of those skills. Oh wow. Okay, so you just like. Okay, that's interesting. I gotta read this again. The danger sense. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Having an advantage on saving throws for anything you can see for dexterity saving throws, but as long as it's visible, trap, spell, that's pretty big. I mean, fireball you're normally going to see, and I'm pretty sure that's a dexterity saving throw. Let's see what else. So what else do we got? So yeah, so I mean, that's if you wanted to trade that out, which is very combat situational, good advantage. Trading that out for. So that's just going to allow you to do better with your tools and survival. You're personally doubled for any ability check you make that uses either of those skills. So animal I gotta pay attention here. Right? Sorry, I'm still kind of waking up a little bit. Animal handling, medicine, nature. I mean, doubling up on perception. Holy. Yeah, perception. That's a big one. Wow. So if you get to double up your proficiency bonus on perception all the time, that's pretty awesome. Animal handling, I mean, if you're doing a lot of that kind of stuff, sure. But as a barbarian, medicine, sure. I think the big thing for me is being able to double up on the perception. That's pretty cool. I think that's a real bonus. But like I say, I think the original danger sense in itself is pretty awesome. And this is very situational combat in the moment kind of helping out, where this is, well, perception is too, man. Yeah, that's a tough call. I like it though. I think that's neat to be able to swap that out. Okay, anyways, let's move on. Next one is level 5, Instinctive Pounce. All right, replaces fast movement. So before I read this, let's just take a look at what fast movement is for the Barbarian. Oh shit! Yeah, that wouldn't be Icewind Dale without that track. Bring it down just a touch. There we go. Yeah. Oh man, good old Icewind Dale. All right. This one was it was fast movement, wasn't it? Instinctive Pounce replaces fast movement. Okay, so this is a level 5 feature. Let's see what it's actually about. Starting at the 5th level, your speed increases by 10 feet while you aren't wearing heavy armor. So I know a lot of barbarians run without armor, because I think, yeah, armored defense, so you get your dexterity bonus. Oh, as well as your constitution. Wow. So a lot of barbs are probably going to have a high dex and constitution as is, so 10 plus those. So I mean, if you have a 4 on your dex and you're plus 4 on your constitution, so you're at 18, which, you know, isn't crazy good, but I mean, you're not wearing any armor, so interesting. But anyways, fast movement, so it gives so I got sidetracked there. So you get the plus 10 feet, so never bad, man, in combat. Gives Barbarian that range for a little versatility. So this is actually going to replace this, though. So when a creature ends its turn within, oh, I remember reading this, within 50 feet of you, you can use your reaction to move up to it using half your speed, closer to that creature. So if they move within, so if a Barbarian's probably going to be sitting at around 30 feet, half your, so that's, as soon as they're in 15 feet, you're going to have that. That's going to be half of 30. Which is most likely what you're going to have, unless you're like a dwarf or something like that. I think it's usually 25, which that might be a problem actually. But I think if most races you normally have a 30 feet go, so if you have half of that, and if you're able to trigger this when they're within 15 feet, that's spending it is using your reaction though. This movement doesn't provoke an opportunity attack. Thank God. So that's a nice interception. That's a great way to intercept maybe a character that's trying to approach your healers or your mages or something like that. So that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, to be able to intercept like that. That's how I think. That's where I think the big use of that skill would be an interception kind of move. Cool. I like those. All right, let's move on. So I think that's it for the Barbarian. Actually, I think it's just the 2. But I like them both. I think they're real good swap outs, and I feel like the base skills that they're actually replacing. I think those base skills are still just as good, just as viable. So it feels fair. It feels like a good balance for how you want to try. Just seems like you get another option for how you want to play those characters. Okay, no. So Bard's kind of looking more at I think just spells enhances spell casting. But okay, let's see. A bard has access to following features. Kate, bard spells, first level bard feature, enhance spells. Following spells expand the bars. So I think you're just getting more options available for what spells are available for the bard. Cause fear out of Xanathar's Guide. Yeah. Command. Oh, that's dope. Okay, I think they're just starting to breach in, kind of bleed into different spell circles, like maybe even different. More like kind of cleric stuff, like command, mirror image, mind spike. Ooh, another Xanathar's mind spike. That I don't know off the top of my head. Mass healing, cool word. 3rd level, that's nice. Slow. They didn't have access to slow already. Really? Yeah, a lot of Xanathar's Guide stuff, so that's fine. Prismatic wall. Cool. Okay, so I think now, okay, so there are still some features that it is giving for the bard, so let's look at them. Magical Inspiration, 1st level bard feature. If a creature has a bardic inspiration die from you and casts a spell, the creature can roll the die, add the number rolled to 1 damage or healing roll of the spell. Oh, cool. The bardic inspiration die is then lost, obviously. Can roll that die and add the number rolled to 1 damage or healing roll of the spell. Nice. That's another use, because I think the bardic inspiration, I think that's usually applied to it's applied to the hit, isn't it? So that's nice that you can actually take that bonus and use it for more of a damage or healing output. Cool. I like that. Okay. Let's see. Spell versatility. I think last one here for the bard. 1st level bard feature, enhance spell casting. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can replace 1 spell you learned from this spell casting feature with another spell from the bard spell list. The new spell must be the same level as the spell you placed. Okay. You can replace 1 spell that you've learned from the spell. Okay, well that's cool. Lets you just swap something out that you earn through your level up or something. So what's this about cantrips? Cantrips are 0-level spells, yeah, which don't use spell slots. When a feature applies to spells, the feature applies to cantrips. Unless the feature specific. So it's just saying that it also applies to cantrips. Unless the feature Yeah, first level. Yeah. Okay, that's all. That's fairly obvious. Spell versatility. Yeah, don't think I missed anything. Okay, so they're just basically giving the bard more spell options. Spell versatility is letting you swap out one that you learned. That's actually kind of neat. Magical inspiration. If a creature spell. Oh, right. And so just letting you use the inspiration die to add to a damage or a healing roll, which is, yeah, a nice touch as well. Cool. Looks good, bard. Cleric. Cleric has an accents falling feature. Cantrip versatility. Okay. First level cleric features, enhanced spellcasting. Whenever you gain a level in this class, you can replace one cantrip you learned from the spellcasting feature. Oh, from this spellcasting. Yeah. With another cantrip in the cleric spells. Okay, so again, just being able to swap out cantrips. That's fine. So it looks like it's just going to allow more access to a wider variety of spells, including they're wedging in some of the Xanathar's guide stuff. First level cleric feature enhanced, yada. Falling spells expand. Yep, so just expand a list. So Cossphere, seeing that again. Branding Smite. Wrathful Smite. Huh, not familiar with those. Getting into 4th level. Skill empowerment. More Xanathar stuff. Power word heal. Wow, that wasn't in clerics normally? Channel heart. Okay, so let's take a look at the features. 2nd level cleric feature enhances channel divinity. So let's take a look at channel divinity in that case. Bounce over to cleric. What level was channel divinity? Channel divinity turn undead. All right, channel divinity. Yeah, so this just applies to the turn undead, I believe. At 2nd level, you can gain the ability to channel divine energy directly from your deity using energy to fuel magical effects. You start with switch effects. Turn undead, and crank that down a little touch. Oh, the battle music starting to come through. You start with 2 such effects. Turn undead, yeah. An effect determined by your domain. Right. Some domains grant you additional effects such as advanced domains. Yeah, when you use your channel divinity, you choose which effect to create. You must then finish a short line. Yada. Saving throws, yep. Okay, and that's just getting into turn undead. Sorry, I'm just reminding myself of some of the stuff. Then I just want to read something on the domains here. Then so let's see, what's the channel divinity for life domain? So well, you can use channel divinity, yada, to heal badly injured. Okay, so yeah, dictated by your domain. All right. Now let's take a look at the class features again. What is this actually changing? You can expend a use of your channel divinity to fuel your spells. Oh, as a bonus action, touch a holy symbol, utter a prayer, and regain 1 expended 1st level spell slot. Okay. So basically trading out your channel divinity ability, turn undead, to regain 1 expended 1st level, so spell slot. Yeah, cool. Okay, that's fine. Blessed Strikes. All right, so now we're getting to an 8th level. Divine Domain feature replaces Divine Strike or Potent Spellcasting. So let's take a look at that. Let's look up Divine Strike. Guess this is getting into the domains now. Divine Strike, yep. At 8th level, you gain the ability to infuse your weapon strikes with divine energy once on each turn. Hit a creature with a weapon attack, and you can cause the attack to deal 1d8 radiant damage to the target when you reach 14 to get an extra 2d8. Okay, so adding the 1d8 of radiant, that's fine. So this says it replaces it, I believe, yeah. Okay, or potent spellcasting, which is probably another domain. Actually, now I'm kind of curious. Let's look. So Divine Strike is out of life domain. Yeah, as well as, yeah, in nature, Tempest has it. Trickery. So which one? I wonder which one. Maybe it might be one of the alternate one in Xanathar's guide. But anyways, in battle you are blessed with Divine Might. When a creature takes damage from one of your spells or weapon attacks, you can also deal 1d8 radiant damage to that creature. Once you deal this, you can't use this feature again. Okay, so what's Blessed Strikes? because that's pretty much what the life domain is featuring. But at 14th level, it's actually going to give you a 2d8, so it's actually kind of a better feature. So why would you want to replace this out? Blessed Strikes. Probably because there's something different for, so that's the life domain. Let's read the Tempest domain. At 8th level, you gain the ability to infuse your weapon, yada yada. 1d8 thunder damage. Yeah, so that's basically just letting you choose that if you are, say, of like a Tempest domain or the nature domain. Or let's see what trickery is. 1d8 poison. Light. Oh, there's potent spell casting. That's part of the light domain. Sorry, though you have add wizard modifier damage. Deal any cleric cantrip. That's kind of cool. Life domain had the radiant. So I guess that's useful if you are of if you're just not of the life domain and you really want to be able to output that radiant damage. And then so there is the drawback of not getting the 2d8 when you hit 14 if you just don't pick the so that keeps the life domain relevant. Okay, interesting. I'm just going to read that one more time, make sure I didn't. In battle, you are blessed with divine might. When a creature takes damage from one of your spells, you can also deal 1d8 radiant damage. Yeah, okay. So I guess that just helps keep the life domain relevant. And if you really need to output in radiant damage. Okay, so that takes care for the cleric. All right, moving along. Druid, okay. Cantrip versatility. Whenever you gain a level in this class, you can replace one cantrip. So again, it's just giving us that versatility to swap out a cantrip, similar to what they were doing with the cleric and even the bard there. Druid spells. So again, it's just buffing out the what would be the word? The catalog of spells available to the druids. So very cool. And again, it's incorporating a lot of the Xanathar's Guide stuff there. So we're gonna bounce right ahead to Mass Polymorph. That's a cool spell. We're gonna bounce ahead to Wild Companion. Enhances Wild Shape. So let's look at Wild Shape. Okay. And I think we're all pretty familiar with that. Starting at 2nd level, you can use your action to magically assume the shape of a beast that you have seen before. You can use this feature twice. You regain expended uses when you finish a short or long rest. Your druid level determines the beast you can transform into, as shown in the beast shape tables, yada yada. At 2nd level, you can transform into any beast that has a challenge rating of a quarter or lower that doesn't have a flying or swimming speed. Right. Okay, so we're all kind of familiar with that. It expands here. Lots of little details on what Wild Shape is actually about. So let's see what this actually changes up. Wild Companion, 2nd level, yada yada, enhances Wild Shape. You gain the ability to summon a spirit. Okay, summoning, cool. You gain the ability to summon a spirit that assumes an animal form as an action. You can expend a use Wild Shape feature to cast a Find Familiar spell without material components. So you can expend a use of your Wild Shape feature to cast the Find Familiar spell. That's pretty cool. So you can just go straight to doing a familiar instead. When you cast a spell in this way, the familiar is a fae instead of a beast, and the familiar disappears after a number of hours equal to half your druid level. Okay. And you gain the ability to summon a spirit. It assumes an animal form. As an action, you can expend use. Yeah, so it's just casting 5 familiar. Cool, cool, cool. So that's kind of a neat alternative if you don't want to take the beast shape, that you're actually just finding a familiar. And I think that's it for the druid. Yeah. Okay, pretty short. Cool. Okay, moving on to the fighter. Okay, fighter. First level fighter feature, enhanced fighting style. Okay, so let's look at fighting style. No, fighting style I believe is just you getting the selection of how you want to fight. Yeah, so they have a few different examples of fighting styles. I think you usually take one or two. You start with one, and then you think you pick a second one at like 3rd level or something. It's pretty quick. Anyways. When you gain the fighting style feature, you get access to the variants in the fighting style section. A superior technique style, when you gain the fighting style feature, you gain access to the variants in the fighting style section. Okay, see page 12. Of this, page 12? Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, we're going straight to page 12 because I want to take a look at that. fighting styles section. Okay. Here we go. So this is on the back end of the article. New ways to fight, fighting style, yada yada. Martial versatility, style options. Okay. Oh, here we go. Blind fighting, interception. So these are very similar to feats. Unarmed fighting. Okay. Throw weapon fighting, interception. Cool. And kind of like the battle tactics that they offer for the what is it? The battle master, I believe. Okay, so so you basically, I think it just gives you further selections of when you're choosing the fighting style. The spear technique style is also added to the list of style options available to you. Okay, this is an interesting one because I think this actually kind of starts taking a look at picking, cherry picking abilities from the battle master. And so I like how they include that just under the fighting style, something that all the all fighters are going to have access to. You learn one maneuver. So if you pick a superior technique as part of your fighting styles, that's what the superior technique style is also added to the list of style options available to you. Yeah. So get the holy order. You learn one maneuver of your choice from among these available of the Battle Master archetype. Nice, because there's some good ones in there. If a maneuver you use requires your target to make a saving throw to resist maneuver's effect, saving throw is a DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency plus strength or dex. Your choice. Awesome. You gain one superiority die, which is a d6. This die is added to any superiority dice you have from another source. This die is used to fuel your maneuver. Superiority die is expended when you use it. You regain your expended and you finish a short or long rest. Okay, that's fine. I'm trying to remember the mechanics of the superiority die. You gain one, which is a d6. Yeah, and I think it explains it in the actual technique itself. So let's bounce over there. Let's look at the Battle Master stuff because that's pretty fun. Yeah, under the maneuvers here. That's champion. Here's Battle Master. Yep. Combat superiority dice. So they're normally d8s. When you use it, you gain all the abilities. Okay. And in Battle Master is still a DC starting at your 8 plus your proficiency plus your strength or dex. Okay, let's look at the maneuvers. Now at 10th level, they change D10s and D12s. So let's look at disarming attack. That was one that I always thought was pretty useful to have access to. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend one superiority die to attempt to disarm the target, forcing it to drop one item choice that it's holding. You add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll, and the target must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, it drops. Yeah, so pretty cool. So I really like that. I really like that it gives you access to this list of maneuvers, because I always thought something like disarming attack is something that a lot more classes should have access to, or just even like parry, things like that. So I think that's great that fighters are now going to be able to have access to these maneuvers without having to actually be a battle master. So I'm actually, that's probably my favorite thing out of this. And yeah, so I'm a big fan of that. Absolutely. Gain one superiority dies. So the superiority die is basically added damage for the most part, depending on what the skill is. Being a battle master, you do have your D8, while this is only a D6. But like I say, man, this still gives you. This is something I would definitely do just to get something like disarm. And I know there's other good ones in there as well. So I really like this option. This is something that I would definitely include in any game that I would be running. Yeah, I really like that. That's awesome. Okay, moving along. Maneuver versatility. I'll actually change up the soundtrack real quick here. 1 second. Then we're going to continue on to. Oh no, well let's just finish up the fighter options. There's quite a few of them actually. Yeah, because I want to read through all those, and those look like more. Yeah, I want to read through all those. So 1 quick second. Thanks for hanging out. Check, check, check. All right, let's get back into it. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. So continuing on with the fighter, we went through, now I think that's awesome. The superior technique, which is basically a new fighting style, which lets you cherry pick maneuver out of the Battle Master list. I love that. I think that's probably my favorite thing right now out of this whole deal, because there's definitely some maneuvers out of the Battle Master archetype that I really wish some of my other fighters could use. So I think that's really cool. So now we're moving on to maneuver versatility. Enhances maneuvers. Okay. If you know any maneuvers from the... Oh, interesting. So this is going to continue on for this. If you know any maneuvers from the fighter Battle Master's archetype, so you don't not even having to be a Battle Master archetype, just knowing the maneuvers like we were talking about, you can place one maneuver you know with a different maneuver whenever you finish a long rest. Cool. First level feature. Wow. This change reflects your physical and mental preparation for the day ahead. Wow, so they're just letting you swap that out. It's a first level feature. Enhances maneuvers. Okay. Wow, so they're just, which makes sense. I mean, they're maneuvers. They're not like magical abilities, you know. This change reflects your physical and mental preparation for the day ahead. Awesome. Okay, very, very cool. I think that's probably the neatest thing so far is what they're doing with these maneuver abilities. Okay, next is we're getting into maneuver options. If you have access to maneuvers, the following maneuvers are added to the list. Okay, so just adding more to them. Cool, cool. So not only are they letting you earn those as a different archetype, but you're actually able to swap them out, which is really cool. Like daily, just like on a rest. When finishing a long rest. Yeah, cool. That's awesome. Let's, okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading ahead of you here. Oh, hey, I see you there. Sorry about this. Nishon. How's it going, Nishon? Thanks for dropping in. Much appreciated. Just going over some of the new Unearthed Arcana right now, and it's basically adding different class options, and we're just going over the fighter. Appreciate you dropping in. Just making a little bit of content for the channel. So as I was discussing before, though, one of the things that they're adding for the fighters, which is probably my favorite thing out of all of this, is in the fighting styles, when you get to select one of your fighting styles, you can pick the superior technique, which is going to give you access to cherry picking one of the abilities out of the maneuvers from the Battle Master. So that's going to let you pick an ability from the Battle Master archetype without actually having to be a Battle Master. So I think that's pretty wicked. That's my favorite thing for sure. Let's see. 1 second here. So not only that is once you get to pick one, you can actually, with the maneuver versatility, you can change them out daily before your rest. So I think that's awesome. Very nice touch. That's something I would definitely include in my game on a normal basis. Okay, what's next? So now we're just taking a look at some of the more options. So they've actually included more into the list as well. Like I said, kind of going over examples. I mean, one that I always thought was really cool was using like disarming attack. So being able, because I think one of my higher level characters is Cavalier, and oh man, I would have loved to pick something out of this battle, out of the maneuvers there. So that's one thing that's always kind of bugged me about the Battle Master. And I mean, not to take away from the class, I mean, make one. He's a great class. But you have such an extensive list of maneuvers you can use, so I love that they're actually trying to spread this out towards other fighters. So anyways, let's take a look at some of the new ones. Ambush, when you make a dexterity stealth check or initial, you can expand once you expend. Okay, that's nice. So basically just reasons to be able to expend the superiority dice. Bait and switch, when you're within 5 feet of an ally or turn, you can expend once you die and switch places. Nice, that's cool. 1 sec, be right back. Okay. Okay, bait and switch, that's really dope. Now, what kind of turn is that? The rules... It gains... Oh, they actually gain a bonus AC equal to that. That's cool. You can spend one... It's just not... Probably spend at least 5 feet. Oh, so you're just spending 5 feet of movement on that. Okay, that's really cool. So it's not even a full movement to do that. Nice, nice. Okay, brace. When an enemy can see moves within 5 feet of you, you can use your action, expend 1 security die, and make 1 weapon attack against the creature. Sorry, I got to reread that. There's something going on outside that kind of caught my attention. Crank up that Morrowind. When an enemy you can see moves within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to expend 1 dice and make 1 weapon attack. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. That's fine. So if they're coming into your space, you can get an auto attack on that. That's cool. And yeah, that uses your reaction. That makes sense. That's pretty dope to have. Jeez. Yeah, and that you can just use all the time. Very cool. Okay, next. I gotta move along here. Got things to do. Restraining Strike. Immediately after you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack on your turn, you can expend 1 die and use a bonus action to grapple the target. Okay, that's cool. Oh, and you actually add the die to your strength check. That's even dope. That's even doper. I guess also restrained while grappled this way. Is also restrained. Ooh. I gotta remind myself. Because when you're grappled... being grappled is very different from being restrained. Yeah, that's really interesting. So let's take a look at this. Grappled creature's speed becomes 0 and can't benefit from any. But yeah, that's obvious. They can still make attacks. So they're just basically held. They can't move when you're grappled. That's all it is. But when you're restrained, you can't move. Yeah, the attack roll. Yeah, so this is where you actually have advantage on attack rolls against the creature, and their creature's attack has disadvantage on dex saving throws. So the big one is the advantage and disadvantage when it comes to attacks. So that's pretty cool. Restraining Strike. That's really good, man. Because, I mean, grappling is one thing to stop their movement, sure, whatever. But to now be able to apply those, the restrained effect to it, that's really cool. I like that a lot. Another thing I'm a fan of. I really like what they're doing for the maneuvers in the fighter class. Silver Tongue, when you make a charisma check, deception check, or persuasion, you expend 1 dice and add that. That's cool. Snipe, as well, you can expend 1 spurty dice to make a ranged weapon attack. You draw 1. Attacks damage roll, so 4 damage. Okay, for a ranged attack, that's fine. Studious die, when you make a wisdom insight check or investigation, you can add the spurty die to it. Very cool, so that's nice. And like I say, you can change these all out too with the maneuver versatility, which is very cool. But right away, big fan of Restraining Strike and bait and switch. That's super handy. But Restraining Strikes, that's something I would be excited about. That's a really cool move to be able to. I want to read this again just to make sure I'm not missing something on it, because that's definitely the maneuver I'm the biggest fan of. But they give you a lot. They're giving you a lot of options, especially for being able to spend the superiority dice on ability checks as well, not just in combat. So immediately after you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, so once you hit it, yada yada yada, you can spend the dice, and you're doing your usual grapple check, but you get to add that to your strength check, which is nice. So that's perfect. You get a d6 to add, which is nice. But not only are they grappled, the target is also restrained, which is huge. Like we're saying, when you're restrained, you actually have the attack rolls. You get advantage against the creature, so everybody gets advantage on it, and it gets disadvantage on everything. So that's huge, man. That's a maneuver I would want to try and take advantage of all the time. Very cool. I'm a huge fan of what they're doing for the fighters, adding the superior technique, giving us maneuver versatility, which is letting us change out what maneuver we want, because you can only have one at a time with superior technique, I believe. Yeah, you learn one maneuver of your choice from among those available to the Battle Master. And when it comes to fighting styles, you can't double up. So if you're not of the Battle Master archetype, this is still going to allow you to pick one out of that, which I think that is just awesome. I know I'm ready to move on from this, but I think that's the best, because because there'd always be this awesome list of maneuvers that you could do, like disarming attack, you know, parry, and you just wouldn't have access to them unless you were the Battle Master archetype. And there's just much other fighter archetypes that I want to explore besides the Battle Master. So I'm a big fan of what they're doing for that. That's great. All right, moving on. So we did Studious Eye. Was there any other abilities? No, I think it just moves on to Monk. Ambush. Yeah, we checked Ambush. Cool. So I mean, that's a lot of versatility. Not just, you know, for every fighter being able to pick a fighting superior technique. Like, how could you not go for that? Because that opens up a lot. Yeah, because you're still gonna. Because I forget, when do you get to pick a second? I need to read that. A second fighting style. I got to remind myself. Fighting style, yeah, you get one at first level. When do you get to pick a second fighting style? I thought first level. I gotta read this. You adopt a particular fighting style. Choose one of the following options. You can take a fighting style option. Later get to choose again. Yeah, where do you get to pick another fighting style? I can't remember. Might be listed under the archetypes, I think. Yeah, 10th level, additional fighting style. Even the Battle Master, I would think. No, he just gets more. The superiority dice bump up for him. Right. Okay. Yeah, no, like I say though, that's huge, man. Because you know, you get one of these, but how could you, it would be hard to not go for the superior technique. Yeah, that'd be really tricky. Very cool. All right, I'm gonna move on from fighter now, but that's something I'm actually really excited about, because I mostly anytime I'm playing, I usually prefer to play as a fighter, and I love being able to get access to the superior technique, to all the maneuvers, and the new maneuvers they're adding, like restraining strike. That is sick, because I always like grappling, but being able to actually apply a restrained, that's a game changer. That's big. Okay, moving on. Let's get on to Monk, which is next page. Okay, and I'm still on the Morrowind soundtrack. Pump that up. Yeah, anybody, looks like I got a few of you out there. Appreciate you hanging out. Man, feel free to drop comments or suggestions, or if I'm wrong about something, man, correct my dumb ass, because I am by no means a pro on this stuff. It's all just a hobby. But I appreciate you hanging out. Hope this is helpful. Like I was saying, this is the Unearthed Arcana that came out on November 4th. Okay, so looking at the Monk has access to the following features. Now, Monks I'm actually not very familiar with. I've never played a Monk myself, and I haven't really played one much as a DM as well. So first level Monk feature, enhanced martial arts. So let's bump over to Monk and take a look at the martial arts. Do have to remind myself, or educate myself. So I think martial arts is just kind of explaining fist weapons and stuff like that. First level you practice martial art, gives you master confidence, yada yada yada. Unarmed strikes and monk weapons, right? You gain the following benefit while you are unarmed or wielding only monk weapons. Yeah. Can use dex instead of strength for your attack and damage rolls. You can roll a d4 in place of normal damage. So this is kind of the baseline monk stuff. When you use the attack action on your unarmed strike, you can make them. Oh, this gives you another unarmed strike as a bonus action. Very nice. For example, if you take an attack action and attack with a quarterstaff, you can make... Or a monk weapon, yeah. Cool. Okay, so that's all the baseline monk stuff. That's kind of what I thought. So how does that mix this up? Okay, yeah, enhanced martial arts, monk weapons. Oh, so I think this is just going to expand the list of monk weapons. You could use this feature, yada yada yada. You can practice martial arts special weapon, chosen weapons, which become monk weapons for you. You can practice your martial arts with special chosen weapon. Okay, specially. You can choose a number of weapons to be your monk weapons equal to 5 plus your wisdom mod. Minimum 5 weapons. Okay, so cool. So you're going to have between like 5 and 9 that you can choose from. The chosen weapons must each meet the following criteria. The weapon must be a simple or martial. Oh, wow, so you can actually take a simple or a martial? What? You must be proficient with the weapon. Okay, wait a minute. Well, you don't get martial. I mean, you could probably pick that as a feat, I think. Yeah, you get simple weapons. Short swords, though, that's not bad. But you're proficient in simple weapons. And then I guess you could take the feat of... there's got to be a feat for that, I'm certain. Yeah, here we go, feats. Because how else are you... There must be a feat for this. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Because how else are you going to gain proficiency in martial weapons? Great weapon master. You've learned to put weight in weapons. Strength. Oh, critical hit. Nothing that I thought. Martial Adept, you learn 2 maneuvers of your choice from among the battle master. Oh, I totally forgot about that feat. Oh, so that's another way you can get maneuvers from the battle master. That's right. I totally forgot about that. You know, it kind of sucks having to drop an ability score to take the feat though. So at least that gives the fighter a chance to not have to take this feat to get at the battle master abilities. Sorry to jump back to that, but I completely forgot about this. Medium arm, polearm master. All I'm looking for. Oh, there's sentinel. I should always touch up on that. Sharpshooter, shield master, warcaster, weapon master. Here we go. You gain proficiency in 4 weapons of your choice. Oh, okay, interesting. So there's other ways besides just having a full-out martial weapon proficiency. But like I thought, I kind of thought you would have to bounce back to adopting new feats. Okay, so looking back, so was that the weapon must lack these properties. Oh, so it can't be heavy, special, or two-handed. Okay. But I think it's nice that they explain a little bit more and expand on what monk weapons can be. So that's nice. Good. Now again, I'm not too good on the key mechanics. Key field strike, enhances second level monk feature, enhances key. So it just goes on. Yeah, I think key is a bit of a... Yeah, right there. So that just talks about your DC and things like that, because that's what you expend to use some of these abilities from what I understand. Like I say, I'm not very familiar with the monk class, except for just watching Marisha on Critical Role. Okay, so let's keep looking through. If you spend 1 key in action in your turn, you can then immediately make 1 unarmed strike as bonus action. So if you spend a key or more as part of your action, you can then immediately make 1 arm strike as bonus action. Yeah, that's fine. Key features, continuing on. When you gain the key feature at 2nd level, you can get access to the following features. When you make a ranged weapon attack, distant eye, you can spend 1 key point to prevent attacking at long range from opposing on your attack roll. Oh, you can prevent attacking at long range from imposing disadvantage on your attack rolls until the end of your turn. What is that saying? That you don't get disadvantage if you attack out of range? When you make a ranged attack weapon, sorry, I can't read this. I think my eyes are starting to bug out. You can spend a key point to prevent attacking at long range from imposing disadvantage. I think that's all that's explaining. Like, I think my eyes are starting to bug out a bit, but I think that's all that's meaning, is that you don't get disadvantage when you're attacking at the long range, because that's long range is let's go to equipment. Yeah, because if you're attacking at long range, which would be the, if we're looking at, let's just look at the short bow. Range is 80 feet, and then there's the 320, which I'm guessing, and so what I'm recalling is the 320 is actually the long range, and if you're firing at 320 feet or more, or up to probably, yeah, I have to remind myself on that. You have disadvantage on that. Now, that might explain that in the combat. It might actually explain it right here. Let's see. Oh, let's bounce up. Range, yeah, let's just read the range tidbit here, just to remind myself. A weapon that can be used to make a ranged attack, yada, yada, yada. The first of the weapon's normal range is feet, and the second indicates the weapon's max. That's okay, I should have known that. Max range, yeah. So that's the max, but, so once you're past 80 feet, you're going to be at disadvantage. First weapon's normal range in feet, the second indicates the weapon's maximum range. When attacking a target beyond normal range, you have disadvantage on the attack roll. You can't attack a target beyond its weapon. Yeah, so looking at the short bow again. So if you're firing outside of 80 feet, so 81 feet, you're going to have disadvantage on that. And the 320 is just you can't fire from more than 320 feet away. So I believe what Distant Eye is just doing, I believe it's just getting rid of that disadvantage if you're between the 80 and the 320. I think if I'm reading that correctly. I could just be phasing out right now. Need to update my coffee. And I'm actually just going to change. I'm going to change up the soundtrack too. As much as I love Morrowind, I'm just going to change it up a bit. So 1 second. And like I say, for anybody that's hanging out there, it looks like I got a few of you. Appreciate you hanging out. I'm just going to change up the soundtrack here and might touch up on my coffee. I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out. All right, let's get this going. Sorry about that. Got a little bit more coffee on the go. Threw a little bit of Skyrim on. Hope you guys don't mind. I still see a few of you on there. Much appreciated. Like I say, just keep. This is all a hobby of mine. My main channel, I do mostly video game stuff. That's the simple combo link. This channel, just man, I've always just been such a huge fan of D&D content, and I try to play it whenever I can. And so this is just kind of a good excuse for me to go through, keep up with what's going on out there, and keep up with the new books. So let's keep chewing through this. We're going through Monk. So again, still going over key features. We talked about Deny, that's actually pretty dope, man, to be able to take the disadvantage off. And I'm pretty sure that's what that's referring to, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Quickened healing. As an action, you can spend 2 key points and roll a martial arts die. You regain a number of hit points equal to number rolled. Now, what are the martial art die? What's D is that? Let's bounce back to Monk. I'm just curious. Got to educate myself. Which I'll be explained yet. Monk die, monk die. Honestly, not sure what a monk die is supposed to be. Like, I know there's this key. You can spend a key point. Yeah. It's monk DC. Well, let's just keep bouncing through it. Like I said, man, I just keep wanting to talk about the fighter and the changes they've done for that, because I think it's just super awesome. Oh no, sorry guys. Sorry, I was tweaking something. I lost my music. One last second. Sorry guys. Like I say, I'm trying to start streaming with this channel more. Like I say, I do a lot of video game content. This is, but I love keeping up with the D&D stuff, and this is kind of how I do it. So I appreciate you dropping in. So like I was saying with the fighter, man, they allow some new technique and maneuverability. So perfect. Oh, it's on the table. Oh, thank you. Let's bounce back. Sorry, I keep getting distracted because I'm just tweaking stuff. Still kind of in testing mode. So let's take a look at the table. And much appreciated, Nation. Thank you. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, like I say, I'm definitely new to. I've never played a monk or even created a monk for that matter. Awesome. Good to see. Howler Spirit Wolf. You're the first end stream I could find, and it makes me happy after so many years to see people are still keeping this up. Keep being awesome, I do. Never stop being yourself. Much appreciated, Howler Spirit Wolf. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, like I say, I'm not always playing D&D. I try to as often as I can. But I love trying to keep up with the content. I'm always buying the books. I'm a big fan of 5th edition. So this is just kind of my way of trying to keep up with the content, and it's just fun to do the channel thing, that's for sure. Okay, might change up the soundtrack soon. This wasn't the good Skyrim I thought it was, but that's okay. Anyways, let's keep moving along. So the martial, like you were saying, Nation, and I really appreciate the advice. Thank you. That it is on the table. So it's 1 to 4th level. It's a 1d4. Once you get into 5th. When does it change to D8? Is at 11th. Okay. So it starts at 1. So you're going to be on a 1d4 and a 1d6 for quite a while there. Let's get back into class features. We're almost done with the monk. So roll your martial arts die. Okay, that's making more sense. Much appreciated, Nation. I kind of got myself distracted there. Like I say, it's just a lazy. I got the day off, so just kind of a lazy day for me. So I figured this was a good time for me to be able to go through this. That is 2 key points though. Okay, so we're done with the monk, so we're able to now move on to the paladin. Now the paladin again is another. I haven't played a paladin. I've never even made one, but very interested to see what they did. Okay, paladin has access to the following features: fighting style options. Oh, so paladins, like I say, I'm very. Let me read a little bit on the baseline of a paladin here. Do they have fighting styles similar to the fighters? Yeah, class features fighting styles, 2nd level. Okay. Lay on hand. Yeah, we all know about that. Yeah. At second level, you adopt a style of fighting as your specialty. Choose one of the following options. You can't take a fighting style option more than once. Even if you later get to choose again. I'm assuming they probably get to choose again at like 10th level or something, which is cool. So it looks like they get access to the pretty similar. It looks like they're missing one or two from the base fighting options of the fighter. And please excuse myself for being naive. Protection, yeah, ground weapon, dual defense. Now, what are they missing out of that? Archery, that's not in there. And I think 2-weapon fighting. Great weapon fighting. It looks like it was a little bit different. Was great weapon fighting in there? Yeah, they got great weapon fighting. It was the dual weapon and the archery. Those two weren't in there for the Paladin. Sorry to get distracted there. Like I say, I'm kind of educating myself on some of this info as is. So let's get back into Paladin. So fighting style options. When you gain fighting style features, you get access to the variants in the fighting style section. Oh, page 12, which we looked at previous. So this is a 13-page article. And at the very back end, page 12 here, they actually have a list of new fighting styles, which you are able to access with the new fighting style and techniques that's available. So that's cool that they're giving access to that as the Paladin as well. Okay. So yeah, that makes sense. Now, what's this Blessed Warrior stuff going on? The Blessed Warrior style is also added to the list of styles option available to you. Okay, Blessed Warrior, what's this about? You learn 2 cantrips of your choice from the Cleric spell list. They count as Paladin spells for you, and Charisma is your spellcasting ability for them. Whenever you gain a level in this class, you can replace one of these cantrips with another spell. Okay, so it's just giving more access to cantrips. Spells. Cool. That's actually pretty dope, man. Wow, getting access to a couple of cantrips like that is pretty cool. Okay. Paladin spells, so again, it's expanding the spell list, adding a couple of Xanathars in there. Okay, so now we're looking at Channel Divinity. Okay, so it's a 3rd level feature, Channel Divinity. So, and this enhances it. Okay, so let's look at Channel Divinity for the Paladin, 3rd level feature. I'm assuming this is the kind of like the Turn Undead, very similar for the Cleric. Channel Divine Smite. Where are you? There you go, Channel Divinity. Okay. Channel Divinity, when you take this oath at 3rd level, you gain the following 2 Channel Divinity options: Sacred Weapon and Turn Unholy. Okay, so that's kind of the Turn Undead idea. Sacred Weapon doesn't actually compute one of your weapons. Assuming you're just pumping it up with some Radiant. Oh, no, this is totally different. Positive use Channel Divinity. For 1 minute, you add your Charisma modif to your attack rolls. That's pretty sick, actually. The weapon, boost +1. The weapon also emits a bright light 20 feet. 20 feet beyond that. If the weapon is already magical, it becomes magical for the duration. That's really nice, too. Especially for low-level stuff. Sounds cool. Turn Unholy doesn't actually present your holy symbol. Yep, typical Turn Undead kind of stuff. Okay, so how is this mixing this up? You can expend use of your Channel Divinity to fuel your spells. Oh, okay, so it's going to let you recover a 1st level spell slot. Okay, that's okay. That's what they did for. That's what they also added for the Clerics there. So at least they're keeping that trend going. And that's it for the Paladin. Okay. So next up, what do we got? What do we got left here? We're on the Ranger, so we're gonna have the Ranger, Rogue. It looks like they've done quite a bit for the Ranger. Probably just spellcasting by the looks of it. Yeah, a lot of spellcasting stuff. Then we're gonna be finishing this up. I'm gonna be going through the Ranger, get to the Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. So we're moving along nicely. Like I say, appreciate you guys hanging in, and I hope this is helpful. Yeah, bit to get through this with the Ranger. Yeah, they've done a bit. Okay. Now let's see. Now I might actually break this up. I'm already about an hour and 10 minutes in. I might actually break this up into 2 parts. We've gotten about, let's see, let's take a look here. Yeah, we did the Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, bank that off. So yeah, I'm actually going to save the last half for doing another stream, since it did take me about an hour to get through that initial stuff, and you can see how easily sidetracked I get. I'm going to leave the rest of the other half, Ranger, for another stream. So anybody that's was checking out the channel, really appreciate it. Really appreciate you hanging out. I hope this was helpful. This is just kind of my way of being able to spend time reading through this. Make sure to check out my other channel, Simple Combo, where I do more content on video games. Any D&D content I keep to this channel here. So really appreciate you hanging out. Take care. Thanks for watching, guys.